Good evening, dear sisters and brothers. Welcome to the evening session of Being Heartful Every Day with Swadhyaya. Before we start today's session, just an announcement for all brothers and sisters that beginning today and continuing until the Bandara, we'll be introducing bedtime practices to intensify our abhyas, covering essential practices of point A meditation, offering of maxim 10, and the bedtime prayer. Therefore, after we complete our universal prayer session, we request you to kindly remain on the same YouTube link after the universal prayer, as these bedtime practices will commence at 9:30 and will continue for another few minutes. And with this, dear sisters and brothers, we are continuing our exploration of connecting with the center, which is the theme for this week. And today we turn our attention to how the center functions as an inner reference point. In heartfulness, the center is not only a place of rest, it is the axis around which clarity, discernment, and right orientation naturally emerges. When awareness is aligned with the center, one does not need to search for guidance, it quietly reveals itself. Connecting with the center, therefore, reshapes how we listen inwardly. Instead of relying solely on mental reasoning or emotional impulses, we begin to sense direction through subtler inner signals that are calm, precise, and unforced. The center acts as a stabilizing reference amidst constant movement. Thoughts, emotions, and external demands continue to arise. Yet, when awareness is oriented inwardly, they are seen in proportion. Nothing overwhelms because everything is measured against inner stillness. This inner reference is not analytical, it simply knows. And when awareness touches the center, there is a quiet confidence that does not require validation. That is why heartfulness emphasizes experience over interpretation. The center reveals itself through subtle feeling, not as a conceptual understanding. Babuji Maharaj points to this state as one where consciousness naturally aligns with reality without distortion created by impressions or preferences. In our daily life, confusion often arises not from the lack of information but from the lack of inner orientation. When disconnected from the center, choices are influenced by habit or urgency or fear of outcomes. Even well intentioned actions can feel uncertain or heavy. And when connected, decision making becomes lighter. One senses when to act, when to pause, and when to let go. The center helps us remain inwardly steady even when the external situations remain unresolved. For us as abhyasis, this inner reference gradually becomes more reliable than mental analysis, offering quiet assurance in both simple and complex situations. Dear sisters and brothers, as we move ahead in the session, we gently request you to please extend the invitation of the Heartfulness Master classes and the BHED sessions with your near and dear ones. You'll find the additional reading material available on this theme, which is available on the Heartfulness app. There are also videos of Revered Daji on the theme, and we encourage all to explore these additional reading materials and the video materials available for all of us to deepen our understanding of the theme of this week. We will resume our inspirational reading, and this continues from the Heartfulness Way, Book 2. And yesterday we had started the chapter reading titled Connecting with the Center, and we will resume our reading from page number 80. As the text will not be displayed, therefore, we request you that if you have a copy with you, you can read along. Here is another analogy. The vacuum in the heart attracts the flow of the divine current. like an electrical current flows from the positive to the negative pole in an electrical wire. We create the negative polarity of a receptive, yielding heart. In this flow from the center into our hearts, the mind becomes tuned to the center. The subtler the feelings during prayer, the finer and more potent is the communion. Osho reminds us that a prayer becomes a real prayer only when it is free from demands. Even if there be a demand for God, that prayer does not remain a prayer of God. Only when completely free from all demands, prayer contains God. Praise is not a prayer, it is flattery. Praise is bribery. It is not only manifestation of a low mind, it is also a deception meant for God. And what could be a bigger foolishness than deceiving God? Prayer is not speech, it is silence. It is dedication to infinity. It is not word, it is the music of infinity. That music starts where the other tunes end. Prayer is not worship, nor is there any place of worship for prayer. It has nothing to do with the outside world. It has no relation to others. It is the innermost awakening of the self. Prayer is not action, it is consciousness. It is not doing, it is being. Only the birth of love is necessary for prayer. So you see, true prayer is not the dictionary definition or what many of us think it is. Instead of asking God for something, try letting it be an inner state of connection and flow, without words, without demands, and without awareness of the outcome. Remember, what gives prayer its effectiveness is purity, innocence, humility, and longing. They help us arrive at a subdued state akin to utmost insignificance. When you truly feel the state of insignificance, you will feel a kind of helplessness, a feeling that without thy help, I cannot reach the destination. Daji, the statement of Babuji is very inspiring. When prayer is offered with a heart full of love and devotion, it shall never go unheard. Yes. How can it go unheard once the connection has been established? The flow of the divine current into an open, longing, yielding heart is as natural as iron filings being drawn to a magnet. We shall talk more about prayer, in particular the prayer, when we discuss the practices in detail. Reflection. In this moment, I notice that Daji's attitude towards prayer, and for that matter, all the other spiritual practices, is as loving and caring as towards people, even towards his beloved Bapuji. There is tenderness and aliveness in the way he speaks about prayer. For him, these practices are precious and dynamic, and they are vehicles for meeting his Babuji, vehicles for transforming himself, and vehicles for love. He continues to learn more about each practice through experience and experimentation. He is constantly pushing the boundaries, not satisfied with yesterday's prayerful state. It strikes me that this is an ideal use of the ego in spiritual practice, in to always be enhancing, expanding, and enlivening understanding. That way, he can also share more with us and encourage us to also move forward. There is no stagnation ever in his being. He is evolution personified. Dear sisters and brothers, with this, we have come to the conclusion of the chapter, and let the reading gently orient awareness inward. We will now turn our attention inward to offer the universal prayer together. All brothers and sisters, are being filled with love and devotion, and real faith is growing stronger in them. सभी भाई बहन प्रेम और भक्ति से भर रहे हैं और उनमें सच्ची श्रद्धा दृढ़ होती जा रही है। May this universal prayer awakens love, unity, and harmony in the hearts of all across the world. Dear sisters and brothers, thank you for joining this evening session. And as we continue with this theme, may our connection with the center deepen, allowing inner guidance to replace effort and clarity to arise without strain. Dear sisters and brothers, as shared earlier, we warmly request you to please stay connected on the same YouTube link after the universal prayer. As starting today, we are starting the bedtime practices, focusing on point A meditation, Maxim 10, and the bedtime prayer. And this session will begin at 9:30 p.m. on the same YouTube link. This will help support our deeper abhyas as we move toward the Bhandara. And if you wish, you can take a short break and rejoin the same link again. Thank you again for your presence and wishing you all a good night.
pronounce. Welcome everyone to this new session, Being Heartful Every Day with Swadhyaya, our bedtime practices. This is a beautiful opportunity to share our bedtime practices of the Maxim 10, A-point meditation, and the prayer meditation. After a lot of requests from all of our audience, we are very grateful to be doing this together. So let us begin with Principle 10. Here, the attitude for how we feel while we go through the Maxim 10 is what really matters the most. So much so that our heart melts away like butter, and that lump of grief or guilt just melts away, creating a vacuum in the heart, and there is a relationship with the Lord, and I am able to present myself to Him as I am. So at this point, let us scan our whole day from morning throughout the day, evening, up until now, and see where were the moments that I may have been selfish in my thoughts, intentions, words, or deeds, and that may have created a hurt in me or others. The tortures of guilt of having done something or having not done something are just too much for the soul to bear. So, let us go through this practice. Softly, gently close your eyes. Let us feel the presence of God, the eternal divine presence. Let us repent for any wrongs committed unknowingly. It is good if the heart melts to an extent that tears are rolling down our eyes. That melts the heart, creates a vacuum for divine grace to flow. We beg forgiveness in a supplicant mood. Let us prayerfully resolve not to allow repetition of the same. Let us allow ourselves to melt away in this prayerful feeling. We pray repeatedly for contentment, a heart content, fulfilled, would not be able to make mistakes. Now, very softly, gently, with a firm resolve not to allow repetition of my mistakes. With a heart of contentment and gratitude, let us softly, gently open our eyes. Let us also have the generosity of the heart to forgive all others who I think or imagine have hurt me or others. Let us now note down a word, a feeling, a thought that might have come to our hearts during this practice of Principle 10. Now, let us dive deep into the practice of Point A meditation. With the finger, let us locate the position of point A, which is one finger down from the sternum, forefinger towards the left is point B, and two fingers above is point A. We measure with our own fingers. We all know how Daji has reminded us that Lalaji Maharaj takes the responsibility of abhyasis who practice point A and B practices. Point A is a connection to the superconscious. Let us first do this meditation for men. We fix our attention on point A with the thought that all women and men of the whole world are our sisters and brothers. Let us hold our thought on this while we meditate on point A. We believe this to be true. If we practice this wholeheartedly, we can see its effects immediately. And this effect will be permanent. As Daji often reminds us, Sahaj Marg will be known in the world for unity. Our point A meditation is the key towards achieving this unity. For the women, let us think that all divine gifts are already available to us. And all men and women of the world think they are brothers and sisters. And our thought is one with theirs. With our eyes softly, gently closed, and our focus on point A, let us visualize this unity, connecting all hearts in our family, friends, relatives, community, city, state, countries, and spreading all across the globe. Let us feel this enormous expansion in our heart to engulf, unite all of humanity. A heart that is so content with all divine gifts already available, sees easily all humanity as sisters and brothers. There is no competition, jealousy, separation. Only unity prevails. With this meditation, if some word or feeling arises in the heart, you may gently note down in your diary. Now, we will go to the bedtime prayer. Our heartfulness prayer was received by Babuji Maharaj in his superconscious state as vibrations, which he transcribed into words for us. Our prayer is the cry, the innermost cry of the heart, reaching out to the Lord. It connects us with the deepest core of our subconscious, enriches the prayerful connection all through the night, And in the morning, it reignites the prayerful state. Our prayer now gives us a wakeful, prayerful condition throughout the day. Let us now mentally repeat the prayer. O Master, Thou art the real goal of human life. O Master, Thou art the real goal of human life. We remind ourselves of the goal of human life as we feel all of humanity connected with us during this prayer. We are yet but slaves of wishes, putting bar to our advancement. We are yet but slaves of wishes, putting bar to our advancement. We present our condition to the Great Lord. Thou art the only God and power to bring us up to that stage. Thou art the only God and power to bring us up to that stage. As we repeat the words of the prayer, let us feel it reverberates in our hearts and flows throughout our whole system. Let us allow ourselves to feel immersed in the meaning behind the prayer. Let each word unfold its meaning in our hearts. Now, let us go beyond the meaning and feel the vibrations of the prayer. Our heart receives this prayer flow vibrations. Let us go beyond the vibrations. Feel the essence of the prayer. It brings us in osmosis with the Great Master. And beyond the essence, let us feel the silence, stillness, nothingness, completely settled in the very source. In this deep nothingness, settled state, very softly, gently, let us put our heads on the pillows and go to deep yoga nidra condition, as if in the lap of the great divine master. In this gentle softness and innocence of a childlike, pure, simple, divine heart, we sleep in remembrance, in connection, in Yoga Nidra, looking forward to our morning meditation. Thank you.